Very good evening from the Stoke Kai Ras. The Virtue Trophy Last 32 is our entertainment in North Wales tonight. Local rivals Crewe Alexandra making the short trip across the Cheshire border as Wrexham try and take that next step towards a potential Wembley final next year. 4 matches perhaps from a trip to the famous Twin Towers, and an opportunity this evening to look at some of Wrexham's wider squad players as Phil Parkinson rotates his squad. And amongst the squad rotations, one on Matchday Live tonight, because alongside regular panellist Mia Roberts, good evening Mia, we also have Wayne Phillips. Wayne, welcome to Matchday Live tonight.
Thank you, Chris.
Really good to see you both. Let's start with Saturday before we get into tonight's discussion. And Mia, in a day of horrendous weather, the kind of win that perhaps you look back on in May and say, that was a priceless 3 points in horrendous conditions.
Yeah, I think you saw in the reaction after the game just how big it was and how big it felt. In the post-match reaction and everything that goes alongside that. I think, I was watching from afar. I couldn't get to Burton on Saturday, but in the morning of, there was a lot of sort of talk on social media from fans worrying that it was going to be off, and then in the end, rightfully so, I think the game was on, but in very tough conditions. And it's games like that you do look back on at the end of the season as massive wins. And I think even Elliot Lee might say it himself, was a bit of an assist from Storm Darragh maybe, but a massive win away from home against the Burton side, who you'd sort of expect us to get 3 points against, but under the caretaker manager have been in relatively good form and have picked up. So yeah, I think one at the end of the season you'll look back on as a massive win in tough conditions.
Wade, in your long career here at Wrexham, did you ever play in a game with a goal straight from a corner?
Ambell i waith gafon ni pyn y gêm lle mae yna goliad i mynd i fewn syth o cic y gorneli neu o cic rydd, ac dwi'n meddwl dyna oedd am digwydd dydd Sadwrn yn Burton efo sydd oedd y tywydd oedd i am cymryd rhywbeth fel hynny i ennill y pwyntiau, ac os ti'n ennill gêm pam ti ddim ar dora, mae o'n gallu fod yn wych, ac 3 pwynt oedd yn pwysig iawn i lle mae Wrexham ar hyn y bryd yn y tymor.
Come on, keep up. What do you mean you didn't understand? Wayne, fantastic to have a native Welsh speaker as part of Matchday Live this evening. For those who didn't quite follow every word of your perfect Welsh there, tell us, did you ever have a game with a goal like that?
I'm sure over my 15-year career, Chris, I would have done. And you do get games when the wind causes havoc. We can cope with certain things, but the wind, you'd never know what's going to happen. And that proved the case on Saturday. I think it was always going to be a goal by either side, similar to what we saw from Elliot Lee, that was going to win the game. And fortunate for Wrexham, the goal came to themselves, and it could prove a valuable 3 points come the end of the season.
And of course, home form has been excellent, Wayne, so far this season. Away form a little bit less consistent, with some very strong performances and 1 or 2 like Stockport where the team struggled a bit. Do you think that performance could be a catalyst now for a bit of a change in form away from home in the next phase of the season?
Well, we'd like to hope so. The form here has been absolutely terrific, and won every game apart from the 1 drawn game, and that helps where there's not as much pressure going away from home to have to win games. But any point away from home is valuable, but when you do go away from home and get all 3 points, it can only prove a massive boost for the lads. And there's some good fixtures coming up. We're quickly moving into the Christmas period, and then we get through that period, and if we can still be where we are at this moment in time, we quickly start thinking about Easter, and we know what Easter brings. It brings a lot of excitement, and we're looking forward to the second half of the season. Certainly I am, and I'm sure the fans who turn up on a regular basis are.
Well, we'll return, of course, to the road ahead for Wrexham later in Matchday Live. We're back, of course, at half-time and full-time with analysis and reaction. But let's turn our attention to tonight's game and have a look at the Wrexham team who manager Phil Parkinson has named for this evening's Virtue Trophy fixture. And unsurprisingly, 11 changes from those who strode out at the Pirelli Stadium on Saturday. Brad Foster gets his first chance in goal for the club, having been signed, having responded really to the injury problems in the goalkeeping department. So Foster gets his first opportunity to show what he can do in front of the racecourse faithful. Aaron James, again at right centre-back, gets an opportunity in this competition. Dan Scarr skippers the team for the first time in a return to the starting 11. Tom O'Connor also back in on the left side of the back three. Then Anthony Ford, who has played at right wing back before in this competition, gets another chance. Jacob Mendy is at left wing back. George Dobson, who didn't play on Saturday through suspension, gets another game tonight alongside the returning James Jones, who's been out for a long time with injury, and Josh Adam, who featured at Port Vale in the group stage of this competition, young player who we'll have a chance to have a look at for the first time as well here at home tonight. And then Mo Farl, scorer of that spectacular overhead kick in the second round of group games against Wolves under-21s, gets another chance to show what he can do up top alongside Icelandic John Daddy Bodvarsson. The bench: Liam Hall, Max Cleworth, Seb Revan, Andy Cannon, Elliot Lee, Ollie Palmer and Paul Mullin. Mia, your thoughts?
Yeah, no real surprises. I think we all knew there was going to be wholesome changes tonight, and like there is. I think for me the one that does surprise me is maybe no Paul Mullin in that starting 11. I thought he'd bring him in tonight, from the start, trying to get maybe a goal or two. I think he's already got 2 in this competition, so I thought he might be the one to come in and start. But apart from that, no real surprise. I think obviously Mark Howard being wrapped up in cotton wool after the last few weeks of goalkeeping problems, which makes sense. And apart from that, good to see George Dobson back after obviously missing out on Saturday due to suspension. But great to see the likes of James Jones in there for me, who's been a great player over the last couple of years, and good to see him still part of this squad.
Well, Wayne, I think at the start of the season, if you told Wrexham fans that for a match in December this year, a B Foster was going to be in goal for Wrexham, they'd wonder whether Ben was going to make another return from retirement. But this is Brad, ex of West Bromwich Albion, unattached when Wrexham picked him up. How difficult is it for him coming into a squad from cold? He has been training, of course, for the last few weeks, but what will it be like for him tonight?
Well, I'm sure there'll be nerves, as any player would have starting out here for their first game. And we spoke about Ben Foster when he came to the club at the end of his career. This is a youngster who's starting out in his career, and if you can have anywhere near of a career as Ben Foster had, then he's going to go a long way. But I'm sure he'll be hoping that the 10 players in front of him perform well. Let's hope he doesn't have too much to do. It's been really good defensive performances here over the last few weeks, and let's hope that long continues for what's to come. But I'm sure there'll be some nerves in the change rooms, as any player would have.
Well, on Saturday, of course, Wrexham did make that journey to Burton Albion in the teeth of Storm Darragh. Let's have a reminder of how that game went.
Draha's there. Watts has to hurry his clearance, but he's done well to find a teammate who then gives it straight back to Wrexham. Level the edge area. Barnett to Rathbone on the overlap. Drills it in the goal mouth. Oh, nobody got a touch. It goes back to Godwin Malife, who feeds Burrow on the flank now, running up Brunt. Stands the cross in, takes a bit of a deflection. It's good strength by Bennett to turn and shoot, but it's too straight. It was good work. He really pinned Cleworth there, and he struck it well, but straight at Howard. He's finally happy. Lee, right-footed, steps up, puts it over the wall, just wide. Great strike, went keeper's side, and that's half-time. Lee with the in-swinger then. 25 minutes left. Again, a crowded 6-yard box. Brunt dancing around the edge of it. It's swept with height to the far post. Hits the post. It's in! And I think it's Elliot Lee direct from the corner. Well, he said the conditions play a part. If so, well, yeah, if only because Wrexham were taking advantage of the conditions, they've taken a lead.
And this is why I don't understand why Burton had the away swinger, because it causes so many problems. And he's just gone straight in. I think Revan's about to head the post as well at the back stick to put it in, but he doesn't need to because it's absolutely inch perfect. Just dips in under the bar at the back post, hits the post, could have gone anywhere, but just rolls in into the net. And we said it might be a set piece, it might be a refereeing decision. It's been the set piece. He's had 2 more goes, got the first 2, one dropped over the bar, the next one cleared at his near post. Then he put a little bit more on it, and in it goes.
Well, also, it's got to be said, the sort of goal you let in when you're down the bottom of the table, isn't it? The sort of cruel goal you let in.
That's right. But it's the sort of goal you score as well when your momentum is in your hands and
He's going to stand it in the box instead. Wow, that swings like crazy. And the keeper's going to have to save it. And he just about does. Ooh, that wasn't intended, but my words, that was nuts. Well, here's Rathbone with another in-swinger. He underhits it like his first one. It's not the best header cleared, though. And Barnett hits it, pulls it in the goal mouth. And what a save by Crocombe. Huge chance for Wrexham, but Crocombe is out quickly and blocks it with his body. Another shot comes in, falls to James. He pulls a shot. Mullen is there. Oh, and he saved it again. As Brunt gets up brilliantly to win that. Burton answer with a foul certainly wasn't. That was great work by him. And there is the final whistle. And Wrexham have got an away win. And frankly, in the circumstances, excellent away win. On paper, you might argue that Burton are a side we should be beating, but the truth of the matter is that they are fighters, and in these conditions, Andy, they really put up a hell of a battle.
Hard-fought victory then at the Pirelli Stadium on Saturday by 1-0 against Burton Albion for Wrexham, and manager Phil Parkinson joins us live on Match Day Live. Phil, first of all, really many congratulations on Saturday. How satisfying was that win compared to some of the others you've had this season?
Yeah, listen, it was a really good win for us. The conditions dictated the way the game was going to be, but I thought we handled it as well as we could be expected, and we showed good resilience in the way we played. But I thought our decision making of playing the right ball at the right time was very good. You know, we didn't put the ball at risk apart from maybe once in the first half, and we just we just managed the game well, and I think that was the most pleasing factor. You know, I'm sure like everyone watches the goals over the weekend, and I watched a few of the goals go in all divisions, and I thought certain teams were putting the ball at risk when it was never going to be the day to do that, and we still played well at times on the ball. You know, we played some good football, but the most important thing is playing the right ball in the right areas of the pitch, and that's what football's all about. It's not about short passing, long passing. It's the right pass at the right time, and the conditions can sometimes dictate that.
And completely different conditions tonight here, Phil, back at the Stoke Kairas, in a very different context with the Virtue Trophy. We've just had a look at the team you've named. 11 changes from Saturday, perhaps not unexpected. I just want to pick out a couple of those. Perhaps we start with Josh Adam in central midfield, who got his chance at Port Vale in the group stage. Talk to us a little bit more about what you've seen from Josh.
Yeah, Josh is a really talented player, and you know, he came to us kind of a low point physically because he'd missed 3 months of pre-season work, but against Port Vale I thought he did well, and it was a big ask because first game in league football or men's football, and tonight it's great to give him another opportunity, you know, because he's trained well, he's been a good member of the group, and it's, you know, pleasing to give him a chance again tonight.
And equally, Aaron James, another shining light from the academy, gets another chance for him tonight. I know you said to us before on Matchday Live how well he trains and what you see in him. What are the next steps for him, do you think, developmentally this evening and going forward?
Yeah, I think, you know, a loan move in January really for Aaron is where we'd like to pitch him in to get a real period of first team football, because I feel he's ready for that. You know, he's had taste of it with us last year and this year, but we need to now test him out as we've done with other players in the past. But we want to get the right move for him as well, and I think that's key, because he's a great player to have on the training pitch with us during the week and for games and nights like tonight.
And another chance for the fans to have a look at Mo Fal tonight. Scored a brilliant goal back in October in this competition. In the 2 months that have passed since, Phil, what have you seen from Mo developmentally on the training ground?
Yeah, Mo's improving all the time with us. He's coming up to the speed in terms of the intensity levels needed to where we want to get to as a football club. Thought Port Vale was his best game in terms of his reliability in possession, and he's got moments in him of real quality. You saw that with the overhead kick he scored, and we see it all the time in training, and his kind of consistency in his play during the week of training has got better and better, and his understanding of what's required and taking the lead from James McLean's, Matty James, George Dobson, all those really good pros we've got in the building, and he's kind of really buying into how you need to train every day. And he's a good lad, he's learning, but we knew that, we signed potential, and you know, we're pleased with what we've seen so far, and there's still work to be done with him, we know that, but hopefully he'll have a good game tonight.
And just finally, Phil, Brad Foster, his first opportunity for you tonight in goal. How's he been in preparation? Because it's quite a thing to be thrown in.
Yeah, no, definitely. The problem we've got is that to risk Mark again after playing Saturday and striking a lot of balls against that wind. We just couldn't take that risk. And Brad, we haven't seen a great deal of him. We brought him in to help us on the training ground. But listen, it's an opportunity for him tonight, and I know our supporters will get right behind him. He's trained well with us. He's a good character. Probably the opportunities come sooner than he'd have anticipated. But like I said, it was necessity really, with the problems we've had in the goalkeeping department, and give Mark a breather tonight. Obviously, as you'd imagine, he was a bit stiff and sore after the weekend's game. We've got to make sure we give Mark every chance to prepare for the weekend.
Phil, thanks so much for joining us. We'll let you get back to the dressing room tonight, and all the best for the game. Wrexham manager Phil Parkinson fitting us in amongst the pre-match preparations tonight. This one a 7:30 kickoff at the Stoke Kairas. It will be settled tonight. If it's level after 90 minutes, we're straight to penalties, so no extra time. Crewe Alexandra, the visitors, League 2 team who Wrexham came up against 3 times last season, and they have named a team with just 3 players who played in their fixture on Saturday, a 1-1 draw with Bradford City. So manager Lee Bell doing the same as Phil Parkinson in rotating his squad tonight. Mia, interesting to hear Phil talking about Josh Adam there, a player that I know the fans were very excited about. There was lots of secret photographs of him before he was announced. Is this Josh Adam from Manchester City? Obviously Phil has been taking care of him, limiting his minutes a bit so far. He had that one opportunity at Port Vale, but the first chance for him to run out here this evening and to show people what he's all about.
Yeah, I think he'll be excited for it, and like you say, I think you sort of hear those sort of transfer speculations of a young talent from Man City, and I think the sort of the fans sort of get ahead of themselves maybe at times, and that's not to say Josh Adam isn't a brilliant footballer, because I think he really is. I think you saw that against Port Vale. Technically he's very talented, but for a player who this is his first taste of first team football at a senior level, I think there's a lot of pressure that's going to be on him, and I think he made a few appearances for Man City's under-21s in this competition last season, but to really get into that and on a daily, to be in senior level football training week in week out, that's at a whole nother level as well. And like Phil said, not having that pre-season, so physically maybe he was a bit off the demands expected of him when he came in, so to now him being in this starting 11 in this competition, it's a great sign of things to come, and I think he's one that could be a real prospect for the future.
And alongside him, Wayne, tonight in that central midfield area will be James Jones. You, of course, spent much of your career here playing in central midfield, but when you've been out with a long injury like James has, how difficult is it to come back into that anchor point in central midfield and potentially play 60 minutes, maybe more?
Yeah, you have to start back somewhere when you've been out with injuries. Nobody suffered more injuries than myself, and it's a long road back at times. It's hard work. The coaching staff and the medical staff they have on board these days is totally different to the days that we had, and I'm sure they know that everything is right and in place for him to be able to go and perform, whether it be 60, 70 or 80 minutes. It can only be good for James Jones and good for Wrexham Football Club, because I've always liked James Jones. He's a terrific player. People say he's a great worker. Yes, he is, certainly that, but he's got ability as well. And to have him back in the side, I saw George Evans doing some work on the pitch before the game, and there's competition, Chris, which is brilliant. Dobson missed Saturday, he's playing this evening, so the competition is unreal, and players have to perform at a high level if they want to get into that first team on the Saturday afternoon. So opportunities for a lot of them this evening, to fight their way back. Tom O'Connor being another one who spent so much time in the first team, and recently being left out for whatever reason, rest, not playing well enough, but I'm looking forward to seeing how he performs this evening, because by all accounts he's a top pro.
Well, this, of course, the first knockout stage of the Virtue Trophy tonight. Wrexham, though, did come through their group successfully, winning it. Here's a reminder of the 3 fixtures which took us to tonight.
Both sides looking to get the ball down, moving around, trying to shift teams and create space. Shepherd is often the one bringing it out from the back 3, but he plays a poor pass inside, and now Reevan is driving forwards. Mullen is peeling out wide and making himself an obvious target. Here is Mullen, edge in the box, left foot over the keeper. Oh! And it's up and running for Mullen. A lovely left-footed finish. Reevan did well carrying it forwards after the sloppy pass by Shepherd. but when Mullen had it, cut in on his left foot, and it's lovely technique on your weaker foot, isn't it, really?
Brilliant, from Paul Mullen. Sublime finish, you have to say.
There's a mine now, he's got past Bolton, he gets into the box and pulls a good ball in himself, laid off nicely, great chance this, and it's there, Salford equalise. It was laid off really neatly by Adeleken, and it was a fairly easy finish in the end for McElhaney. And eventually gets to go ahead, and he swings it to the far post, it's there, is it? Will Boyle heads it into the net. The keeper, Young, just got lost in the crowd, didn't he? And Boyle was virtually on the goal line, jumping and heading it home. But I tell you what, I thought with that free kick, we were even before. Oh, we got another one who's good on set pieces. That was great delivery, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good corner into the box. And I mean, I don't think Boyle has to do much, to be fair. It's sort of on a plate for him. I'm not sure if, the keeper will probably look back on that one maybe a bit disappointed. But no, a brilliant goal.
Anthony Ford again sweeps it into the same sort of area, flicked on beautifully, and Wrexham take the lead. Max Crewe again. Oh, that was beautiful. Bodvarsson with a stooping flick across the face of goal from a lovely delivery from Ford, and Max Crewe arrives at the far post and smashes it gleefully into the roof of the net. Wrexham take the lead.
Yeah, he's got the armband on tonight, and he gets his goal to go with it.
And then they're getting their opportunities in this tournament. I think it's really important that the pathway continues.
Long throw by Deborah, and the ball's bouncing around in Wrexham's box and goes in. Well, maybe should have dealt with that straight after the substitution. We didn't make the change for the corner for fear of messing up our marking, but we made it when the ball went out for a throw. Talaj gets the go ahead, and he drills it into the top right corner. Straight run up. He steps up and scores. Sends the keeper the wrong way. Howard stands tall. Long run up, he steps up, he drills it right foot in the bottom corner. Howard went the right way for that. He steps up, saved. He's ready, ref gives the go ahead. Grant on the edge of his area, steps up left footed. Oh, good bouncy. He's got a big run up, he's in a hurry to take it as well. He comes charging in, and it's saved to give Port Vale victory, which will mean absolutely nothing. Long run up, steps up, and he's saved. Right-footed, legs wide apart, steps up, and Doris saved. Good save by Amos. And the Port Vale players almost tentatively run forwards in celebration.
And the goals against Wolves under-21s, while they were so good, we thought we'd let them talk for themselves. Just coming up to kick-off here at the Stoke Kairas, 5 minutes or so before we get underway. Crewe Alexandra, of course, the opponents tonight. Wayne, who you had a difficult afternoon against around 1992, remind us?
Yes, they've produced some terrific players, Crewe Alexandra, over the years, and I feel I played part in getting one of them a £1 million move back in the 90s. I was asked to do a job I'd never done before by Brian Flynn, a man-to-man marking job. in the game we had against Crewe. It didn't go down too well. The guy I was marking, a guy by the name of Craig Hignett, went on to score 4 goals. And believe it or not, Chris, it was a job I never did again. But he was a terrific player.
He was.
I've since looked back at the goals, and I can't say I was to blame for any of them.
Blameless
even
on
though
all
I was
4.
marking him.
Oh, I'm sure, Wayne. Yeah, thousands would believe you. Maybe I don't.
Yeah.
Mia, tonight, of course, Wrexham will have an 11 who will start together, many of whom haven't had a huge number of minutes so far this season. How will they go about getting some rhythm and tempo early in the game, do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a difficult one. Obviously, a bit of a quieter crowd than usual probably tonight, so that you want to hope that doesn't play a part. You want to hope that the intensity is there. But I think, with the likes James Jones and George Dobson in midfield, I don't think you can go far wrong. And I think get them 2 on the ball early on, make sure they just settle it down. Let's try and keep Crewe nice and quiet, because they've had a nice little following tonight. And yeah, I think we'll be just fine if we can just start well. Do the basics right.
Mia, Wayne, thank you very much for now. We'll see you again at half-time here on Matchday Live. Mia Roberts and Wayne Phillips will be joining Mark Griffiths on commentary. That is over on iFollow. If you haven't got your pass sorted for tonight, then you still can. Head to wrexhamafc.co.uk/live, and all the details are there for the iFollow pass option. So sort yourself out with a pass. We will be back here, same link on YouTube at half-time for analysis of the opening 45, and then back again at full-time, including hopefully some reaction from the Wrexham camp. So we'll see you in about 45 minutes as Wrexham tackle Crewe for a place in the last 16 of the Virtue Trophy. We'll see you then.
Substituting for Wrexham leaving the field, number 30, James Jones. He's been replaced by number 8, Andy Cannon. Mae dod yn yswyddo gan ei ddod yn lleol simple 4 munud off yn erol. The four officials indicated there will be a minimum of 4 minutes at a time, 4 minutes. Wrexham 0, Crewe 0.
Ivan. Welcome back to the Stoke Kairas half-time here in North Wales. It's Wrexham 0, Crewe Alexandra 0 in this Virtue Trophy last 32 fixture. It's been a very even battle in the opening 45. And Wrexham's new goalkeeper, Brad Foster, has certainly shown his quality with 3 excellent saves. At the other end, well, Josh Adam went closest for the home side just before half-time when an opportunistic long ball spotted by Anthony Ford picked out the former Manchester City youngster. He had to take the ball first time on the volley. He couldn't direct it on target. But Foster making his first appearance at the Stoke Kairas this evening, made 3 excellent saves, as I mentioned, in the first half, twice denying Adrien Thibault at his near post around the 35th minute mark, and also stopping from Kian Breckin early on with a strong left hand. So Foster certainly showing some signs of his abilities. Wrexham have struggled though to create too many clear chances, in addition to Josh Adams' opportunity which I mentioned. Mo Farl going closest for the home side in the 7th minute when his shot was well saved by Aston Villa loanee Philip Marshall. Even Stephen then at the break, Wayne Phillips and Mia Roberts back alongside me. Wayne, who's caught your eye for Wrexham in the first half?
I thought they started well, Wrexham. Obviously, I had to say the goalkeeper because of the 3 saves he's made. He's been the busier of the 2 goalkeepers. I go back to the start where I thought Wrexham started brightly. The 2 forwards linked up well, a couple of headers into each other, and we had the efforts off Mo Farl on goal. But efforts on goal have been away from Wrexham a little bit, and the 3 good efforts have come from Crewe, even though there's been some good build-up play by Wrexham. Tom O'Connor was another one. I thought for 20 minutes he was faultless. Kept the ball well, picked out the right pass, put the right weight on the ball, but I'd expect no different from a player of his quality. So I think there's room for improvement. I'd like to see a bit more in that final third and a few more chances on goal, and but they have kept it out at one end, but we just needed a little bit more near the end.
Mia, have you seen it?
Yeah, obviously, very similar. I think Crewe probably grew into it last 10-15 minutes a bit more. I thought we started very well and looked like we were going to get something early, but yeah, fair play. I think both sides have put a good account out for themselves in what's quite a difficult night to try and get that performance when you're playing alongside lads who you haven't maybe had too many minutes with so far this season. But no, I think Brad Foster, I think Phil Parkinson touched on it before the game that he hadn't seen too much of him. He's got to see a fair bit of him in that first 45, and I know one of the saves was a bit unconventional, but apart from that one, I think he's pretty much done everything that he's been asked to do. So from that point of view, I think a brilliant first 45 for him in a Wrexham shirt.
Yeah, that was a shot from distance which he saved with his foot, wasn't it? Which you don't tend to see too often. I mean, great if it works, but if you make a mess of that one, that's going on a Howler's video. But no, he's done very well, hasn't he? And I thought the early save, low to his left with a strong left hand, Mia, was particularly good.
Yeah, and I think it's difficult not only in terms of shot stopping to come in and do that, but when you've got 3 lads in front of you who you haven't played with before, it's very difficult as a goalkeeper. I know as a defender, I want my goalkeeper talking to me all the time. You've got to have that good relationship, and I think so far he's commanded it very well. And them near post ones, often if keepers do get caught out from there, they're often questioned a lot and expected to have that covered. And like you say, it was a great hand, and he does really well to pour it away and get it away from danger as well as that.
Wayne, we talked before kick-off about James Jones. He's been out for a long time with injury. Unfortunately, he only got through half an hour, limped off. It looked like a right ankle. He was moving fairly well with Catherine Beattie, the physio, as he came off. Do you think that might have been slightly precautionary, or did it look to you like his night was done?
Well, he knew straight away. I don't think he'd been in the game that much before he went down injured, and it's devastating, when you've been out for a period of time. I know the feeling all too well. When you're making that walk off the pitch in your sort of comeback game, and it hasn't gone to plan, you don't feel in a good place. But let's hope it's more precaution than anything else, and it's just, he felt something and he was wise. Because sometimes, players will carry on and they do more damage because they want to play, they want to get back into the first team, and you don't help yourself in the end. So I'm sure he's been wise enough to have seen that there may be a problem, and he's come off at that very right time.
Mia, I think two of the Wrexham highlights for me in the first half have been both wing backs. Jacob Mendy getting forward quite industriously, getting stuck into his tackles, but also Anthony Ford. I just want to pick out Ford because we don't see him very often in a Wrexham shirt now, almost exclusively in this competition, yet he always looks like he's never been away. Settles back in, his passing range is good, his crossing is good, and he's come up with 2 or 3 of the better Wrexham moments from that right wing back position, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think you touched on, Wayne, that he's started every game so far in this competition, and obviously being, he didn't get on that squad list to be registered in the league, which is obviously a massive shame for him, and I'm sure something he's gutted about. But as a true professional, he gets his head up and he knows that he takes every single minute in this competition, and I'm sure he trains hard. He is a top professional and a top player as well. I think he's someone I'd pick out in that sort of National League season where he missed a couple of games, but I think back to one of the big games here. I think it was against Yeovil, coming towards the end of that season.
Got the first goal.
Yeah, he got the first goal, and for me that really kicked us on for the rest of them games when you had a club like Notts County really on your tail, when the intensity was as high as it could be, really. So he is Mr. Reliable in every sense of the word, and I think that Josh Adam chance at the end, I don't know whether he's tried to take it down or whether it was a shot, but it came from Anthony Ford's ball, and it was, Wayne said it on comms, it was ball of the game. He's put it almost, just not quite on a plate, but very close to it, and yeah, for me he's a great footballer and someone who's really shone so far in this competition. I think he's on 3 or 4 assists already, so has had opportunities to get another one tonight.
Let's stick on Josh Adam, Wayne, because when managers bring new players into the club, they sometimes use the phrase, he gives us something different. And I think watching Josh Adam tonight, you can see that a little bit, because technically and the way he moves, you just see, this is a guy who you can well believe has come through Manchester City's academy. I'm sure he's still a work in progress, but there are some promising signs.
Well, when you've got Manchester City on your CV, then you've got talent, no doubt about it. And it's now that next phase of his career into men's football. He's been so used to academy football and under 21 football possibly. This is man's football, and he's got to learn his trade at this level, and no question about it. You see on the eye the quality is there, but now he's also got to learn the game. He's a young kid learning his trade. I'm sure he'll have a long career ahead of him, and Wrexham will play a key role in his development, and this can only do him the world of good playing in these games.
Now, when you say there, Wayne, he's got to learn the game, what exactly do you mean?
Well, football at different levels is completely different. I class the academy football as tippy-tappy football, where you get comfortable with the football. Manchester City possibly play different to Wrexham. Training sessions would be possibly different in the sense of what they do and what Wrexham do, and you have to grow into it. I go back to the days when we were starting out, we were thrown into the Welsh National League, going around local clubs, playing against men, and it makes you a better and a stronger player. And it's time. He's not a finished article by a long way, but I'm sure in 3-4 years' time we could be talking about a special player. Let's hope he's here at the racecourse.
Absolutely. Mia, the partnership up front tonight, Mo Fowle and John Duthie Bodvarsson, how do you think they've got on so far?
I thought they started really well. I thought distances were really good. They were linking play really well. I thought Bodvarsson was probably the one we were trying to hit, and then Fowle going off him. But then sort of got to later on in the game, and I thought distances were maybe then a bit too far, and we just weren't quite finding them in them areas like we were in the first 15 or so. But then that comes from service as well. They've got to be getting the service to get the chances, and that sort of died down in the last 15 as Crewe got into the game more. But you can definitely see the potential. I mean, Phil talked about Mo Fowle in pre-match, saying they've bought potential, and I think you can see that. I think in the first few weeks he did look a bit nervy on the ball, and already I think you can see development in that side of his play as well, in terms of being on the football and getting that touch in and laying it off to other players. So listen, I think they worked really well together. I thought they worked well together in the Port Vale game last time out in this competition, and hopefully they've got probably a few more minutes, and then we'll probably see the likes of Paul Mullin coming on. But I think there's definitely potential for one of them two to get a goal tonight.
Yeah, Mullin, Lee and Palmer all options on the bench for Phil Parkinson. Let's have a look at the other games going on in this competition tonight. Some of these are 7 o'clock kick-offs, so into the latter stages of the second half now. Burton Albion 0, Stevenage 2, 0-0 between Charlton and Leyton Orient in a London derby at the Valley. Cheltenham 2, Cambridge United 1, Chesterfield 1, Wigan 1. Doncaster 0, Port Vale 0, Morecambe 0, Lincoln 1, Rotherham are leading Tranmere by 2-0. Stockport 2, Bradford 3, entertaining one at Edgeley Park with about 17 to go. Walsall 0, Reading 1, Wickham 0, Swindon 2, Bolton 1 up against Huddersfield. That one's just approaching half-time. That's a 7:45 kick-off. Colchester leading Wimbledon by 2-0, and Exeter Birmingham all square at 1 each. Wayne, it's a long road to the final yet. This is still only the last 32, but just seeing that last scoreline tonight, Exeter against Birmingham, I'm sure no one would ever admit to this at the EFL, but how tasty would a Wrexham Birmingham final be?
Well, I've already penciled the date in the hope that Wrexham can get there. I'm always a step ahead booking these places, Chris. And
got your room sorted for Wembley? Have you a good Premier Inn?
Well, yeah, we're the cancellation policy, just in case.
Other hotels are available.
I'd like to hope that Wrexham could go the whole way, but what a final that would be. Both teams have different priorities.
Sure.
You know, we cannot hide away from that fact. They both want to get out of League One, back into the Championship, and but a run in this competition doesn't do them any harm, because I'm sure two clubs who have got huge squads and players available, and let's hope by the end of the night that the two teams, Wrexham and Birmingham, are still in the competition, and the dream will go on.
Mia, confident in the second half that Wrexham have got enough artillery on the bench to get the job done here?
Yeah, I think so. I think, a lot of experience as well. I think that Crewe side's very young. I know even a lot of the young ones do have a lot of appearances and a lot of experience. And look at the likes of that back three in Zach Williams has played a good number of games for Crewe. But yeah, I think we've probably just got enough on the bench to bring on that bit of firepower and hopefully get through to the next round.
Perfect, Wayne. Mia, thank you very much. As you can see behind us, the players are emerging for the second half, so we better get out of the way. We're back here on YouTube, same link at full time for analysis and reaction from the Wrexham camp. Please head to wrexhamafc.co.uk/live if you're yet to get your iFollow pass for the second half. Mia and Wayne on commentary with Mark Griffiths. We're back here at full time. We'll see you in around 45 minutes, unless we need penalties, in which case it might be a few more. See you then.
Crewe leaving the field, number 25. Substitution for Crewe number 24, Charlie Lee. He's been replaced by number 11, Jules Haberman. And leaving the field, number 29, Adrian Fibbo. He's been replaced by number 17, Magnus Kolacek. And leaving the field, number 4, Zach Williams. He's been replaced by number 2, Ryan Cooney. Substitution for Wrexham, the field, number 28, Jonathan Parkinson. Being replaced by number 38, Elliot Lee. Substitution for Wrexham leaving the field, number 19, Jacob Mendy. Being replaced by number 23, Seth Evans. Out leaving the field, number 14, Anthony Ford. He's being replaced by number 9, Marlon Palmer. Voting for man of the match is now open. Cast your vote on the official club website. Substitute Crewe, leaving the field, number 21, Nick Roberts. He's been replaced by number 6, Matt Sanders. And leaving the field, number 26, Ian Bracken. He's been replaced by number 22, Stan Dancy. Maintedon Hadiora Stokeras, 3-0, 3 cans, Big Now. About 3 cans winning this when you take your home or Crewe. Give us your attendance for Stokeras, 3,119. Heartbreaking factors of 285 away fans. We do hope you have a safe journey home. Your Wrexham man of the match, as chosen by you, the supporters, on his debut, it's number 32, Brad Foster. Of 6 minutes, added time 6 minutes. Stoke Arena, and where they have been for that year and everything. 19.
Welcome back to the Stoke Kairas, where Wrexham have done it again at home. They are through to the last 16 of the Virtue Trophy. They have beaten Crewe Alexandra, their local rivals here, by 1-0. Aaron James, the difference between the sides. The young defender rising in the penalty area to head home a cross from substitute Paul Mullin 10 minutes from time. And that was enough to secure Wrexham's passage into the next round of the competition. In the second half, Wrexham probably edged it, although keeper Brad Foster once again showed his quality, making 2 excellent saves to deny Finn Roberts and Mattis Holicek. But Wrexham had opportunities of their own before James did break the deadlock. Bodvarsson going close in the 55th minute with a shot from a foul knockdown, and Jacob Mendy heading over from an Anthony Ford cross. It was tight, but Wrexham had enough to get over the line, and Aaron James, with his first senior goal as a first-team player, will enjoy the night ahead, I am sure, as will the other 3,119 fans inside the Stoke Kairas, less a couple of hundred from Crewe tonight. Mia even, goodness me, where did that come from? I'm sure Wrexham will just have a mentality in that dressing room that says, when we're here, we find a way to win. They've shown it again. Well,
they have shown it again, and I think, you know, the longer they can continue to do that, the better they will be. And you know, the confidence that will be in that room, that dressing room right now, will be, you know, off the charts. I think Elliot Lee touched on it a few weeks ago, talking about, you know, how they just love playing on this pitch in front of these fans, and I think you can see that in the performances as well. And listen, I think there was, as you've touched on, less fans than maybe we're used to seeing in the stadium tonight, but still made a good amount of noise and a good atmosphere. I thought the Crewe fans made a good noise as well. Fair play to them for travelling down on Tuesday night, given the time of year as well. It's not always easy. So no, I think to continue the run in what with 11 changes, I think that's full credit to the lads that have gone out there tonight and put on that performance, and absolutely delighted for Aaron James as well to get that goal.
Let's have a look at the statistics from tonight's game to see how that all broke down over the 90 minutes. We can see on screen now Wrexham edging possession over the night, having more shots than Crewe, although less on target. Crewe's 7 on target though, all dealt with by Brad Foster. 5 corners to 4 for Wrexham as well. Wayne Phillips, let's just talk a little bit about Brad Foster's performance tonight, because those 7 shots on target he dealt with exceptionally well.
He did very well, and I singled him out more than anybody else, really. There was some good other good performances during the 90 minutes, but for someone to have made 5 or 6 crucial saves, and we've seen that in recent weeks with Wrexham, goalkeepers making saves, defensively terrific, not conceding goals. We're going back to Stockport, which was a month ago since we last conceded a goal.
Yeah.
And you'll always feel there's a goal in us. We said it, 65 minutes, we'll go and win this 1-0. We had that feeling up in the commentary point, and that's proven the case tonight. But they can thank the goalkeeper. He can be pleased with his night here at the racecourse this evening. It's a pity there wasn't 12,000 here to see him, but the 3,000 who are going home will be going home happy. Wrexham have won, but they will also have seen the quality that another goalkeeper has in between the six.
Mia, clearly you play as a defender yourself, but as Wayne touched on there, despite the number of changes in goal, let alone anywhere else, but that defensive unit, that's now 5 clean sheets in all competitions on the spin. What does that tell you about the coaching here defensively, but also the strength in depth that they can make so many changes to the team, but still every time keep the opposition out?
Well, for me, I think it shows great chemistry within the group. The fact, the fact that you can change the sort of name on the team sheet and it's not changing the type of performance. I think it shows they're well drilled. Everyone knows the sort of game plan. Everyone knows what they need to be doing on that pitch, and I think that's full credit to obviously the staff behind the scenes as well, because it's clear that there's a philosophy there, and they're all being able to stick to it. I mean, we've looked at Max Cleworth scoring goals as a central defender. I mean, we've seen Aaron James do it again tonight, and if you said that when I think Ollie Palmer and Paul Mull and Elliot Lee were coming on, and if you said Aaron James was going to be the one to get the winner, I think it might have raised a few eyebrows. So that's full credit to all the boys going out there week in, week out, because they're obviously putting the work in training, and it is like them sort of fringe players, for them to go out there each week, and even if they're not getting those minutes in the league, to still put 110% out there in this sort of competition, that's full credit to them.
Well, let's have a look at who Wrexham could face in the last 16 by casting our eye around tonight's results in the Virtue Trophy, which you can see on the screen there. Now, this will still be regional, of course, up until the semi-final stage of the competition. Stevenage winning 4-0 at Burton, Leyton Orient winning 2-0 at Charlton. They'll be in the southern part of the draw. Cheltenham beating Cambridge 2-1. Chesterfield 3, Wigan 2. That potential opposition for Wrexham in the next round. Chesterfield, Doncaster 0, Port Vale 1, who of course Wrexham faced in the group stage of this competition. Morecambe 0, Lincoln 1. Rotherham beating Tranmere by 3-2. Stockport 2, Bradford City 3, one of Phil Parkinson's former clubs, of course. Walsall 1, Reading 1, another of his former sides. They'll be heading towards penalties. Wycombe 1, Swindon 2. And Bolton Wanderers leading Huddersfield 3-1. That is a latest score, and Phil Parkinson has joined us on Matchday Live. Phil, another home game, another home win. What are your reactions to tonight?
Yeah, pleased to get through. It wasn't the greatest game by any stretch of the imagination, but as I've said before, sometimes when you pick a team the day before and you haven't worked on the structure as much as you'd like, it can look a bit disjointed, but we stuck at it. Some good performances, obviously Brad, great in goal, and Aaron James in particular, I thought he was outstanding tonight. He really was, and so real good bonuses for us there.
Yeah, let's talk about Brad for a moment, Phil, because he made a string of saves tonight, some of them pretty difficult ones. He looked totally assured from the start.
Yeah, like I said to you before, he's been in with us, but we haven't seen a lot of him in terms of 11v11 practice because he hasn't been involved in that. And credit to Aidan Davison for bringing him in a couple of weeks ago. And it's amazing how things can turn around for a young player who's just come in and been helping out on the training pitch, and he gets his opportunity tonight, and looked really assured, and very pleased for him because it's never easy, like we said before the game, when you get thrown in to any first team game, but he handled it really well, and I'm very pleased for him.
And Aaron James, with his first goal for the first team, you'd moved him to a slightly different position coming out to right wing back just before that moment, but he'd got forward well, and a very clinical header from Paul Mullins' cross.
Yeah, no, we just went to a back four, so we were playing him right back in a back four, and we'd gone to a diamond at that point. Mullen in behind, Mo and Ollie, so Seb left back, Tommy, Scary, Aaron, midfield three, and Mo in behind. And it was a great goal. I thought it was a brilliant cross from Moles, though. It was right out on the touchline, and to get that purchase on the ball and put it in that danger area was a real quality moment for us. And Aaron finished it brilliantly and capped off what I thought was a good display. We're playing against a team who are known for producing young players, and they had young centre halves. I think one of them's on loan playing tonight, and I thought Aaron was good, if not better than their young players tonight. And like I keep saying in these interviews about, I feel Aaron's got a future, and nights like that can't do him any harm.
Just a word on James Jones, Phil. We saw him come off after half an hour. What's the news on him?
Yeah, just a recurrence of his foot injury. He's been out a while, and been back in training 10 days, been itching to get back out there. Tonight was an important game for him to get himself back in contention, but he felt his foot again, and I haven't spoke to Kev yet, but obviously it doesn't look too good, and it's a frustrating thing. We picked up a couple of injuries last time in this competition with Bolts and Boyley, who are both not back yet, and we've picked up another one tonight.
5 clean sheets now on the spin since Stockport, and no matter how much disruption you've had with injured goalkeepers, no matter how many changes you've made through that defensive unit, must give you huge heart that you've got a squad of players here who can be interchanged and still provide a shutout consistently.
Yeah, mentioned Scary and Tommy because even though they haven't played in the last few games, they've been part of a very solid defensive unit throughout the season, and both unlucky not to be in the team, but as you've seen so far this season and tonight, we've got players who can slot in, and the team isn't weakened at all. And I thought Scary and Tommy were flawless tonight in their decision making and clearances, communication, helping young Aaron out, and so very pleased with those two. But I didn't expect anything less because they're good professionals.
I know you'll take every game as it comes, but into the last 16 now, does Wembley start to appear, at least on the horizon, if not being first in your thoughts?
I said to the lads yesterday that this competition, I've been involved in it for a few years, not obviously when we're in National League, that it starts getting more exciting, obviously, once you progress through these early rounds. And tonight was important for us to get the minutes for the lads going into this busy month we've got coming up. But equally now, it adds a little bit more added incentive to the competition, but we'll still be utilising the competition to give players much needed minutes.
Phil, many congratulations on tonight's win. Thank you for coming to join us as ever, and we'll see you for Cambridge on Saturday.
Thank you. Cheers.
Wrexham manager Phil Parkinson presiding over another victory for his side here at the Stoke Kairas as they move into the last 16 of the Virtue Trophy, and the squad depth once again doing his side proud. Interesting, I thought, Wayne, there that Phil said that he's going to keep using the competition to give players minutes. Laudable, but I'm sure the nearer you get to a final, the more the temptation might be, do I start to dial it up a little bit and go for my strongest possible 11?
Time will tell what comes of that, because I do feel we're still a strong team this evening. At kick-off, yes, there was some big names left out and big names that could improve the team, as we saw from the bench this evening. But I think the players who have got them here so far will be the ones to maybe carry on, and and he's just touched on it. I don't see anything different between now and the final. I was going to say when we get there. I won't have to cancel my hotel this evening, will I?
It survives another week.
That survives another round, yes, yeah. But I think it just goes to prove the squad in depth.
Yeah.
the clean sheets. They all buy into what he wants. It must be a great training ground. They all buy into what the manager asks, and they must work tirelessly at not conceding goals, and it proves worthwhile on a match day when you're staying in games, as was proven the case again this evening. And then the quality when was needed came. Paul Mullin could easily have let the ball go out for a throw in. He kept the ball alive, and he whipped a Ryan Barnett cross into the penalty area, and James was on the end of it. So no, I'm delighted, and Phil doesn't surprise me with anything that he says, because he's such an experienced and proven manager, and long may that continue as well.
Absolutely. And Mia, the situation that the club have got now with such depth, this competition is almost becoming a very useful tool for Phil Parkinson to keep players match fit and match fresh, isn't it? Because we've seen in recent weeks Mark Howard suddenly needing to step into League One football. He'd had a bit of time in earlier rounds in this competition. We've seen tonight players who've not had huge numbers of minutes get more time again. Somebody like Anthony Ford, for example. If Ryan Barnett gets a knock over Christmas with Luke Bolton still out, you've got an opportunity potentially to play Ford in a League One match and not think, well, he hasn't had a kick of a ball for months. So although this competition perhaps might not be seen by fans as the most prestigious to win, it is providing a very useful tool to keep players genuinely match fit in competitive football.
Yeah, I think Ford might be the anomaly in that because he's not registered, but
fair point.
but every other one, yeah, you're absolutely right.
The principle stands, but yes, you're
absolutely.
right.
I think, like you say, I think maybe fans from the outside look at this competition as a bit of a, not necessarily not needed. But for me, prime example would be someone like Lewis Brunt, who took the opportunity with both hands in these games. I thought he put on really good performances in I think he played in, was it 2 out of the 3 of the group
That's
matches,
right, yeah.
And then was able to slot straight into that into those league games and do really well and continue that rich vein of form which he was in. And that's not easy, and I think someone like Brad Foster tonight coming in and having that, I expect Mark Howard to still be our first choice in the league, but now for Phil Parkinson, knowing he's got that player that can come into these full senior games and have that confidence, have that type of level of performance is a massive boost. So it only helps the whole squad really as go forward in the league and this competition.
Absolutely, and I think we've got a chance to have a word with goal scorer, match winner tonight, Aaron James. He's going to come and join us. Hello, Aaron.
Hi, you all right?
Welcome to Matchday Live. Thank you for joining us this evening. Well, many congratulations on the win and your first team goal.
No, thank you very much.
What was going through your head as that ball came across from Paul Mullin?
Well, first of all, it's a brilliant ball in the box. Like, you should put it on a plate for me, really. And I was kind of just wandered into a bit of space in the 6-yard box, and I think it was easier to score than it was to miss, really. It was very nice to score a goal. Don't score many, so it's nice to have one.
You first joined the club in the under-14s. How often have you thought to yourself, I wonder what it would feel like to score at the Stoke Kairas?
Yeah. I've thought about it many times. I mean, as a defender, it kind of crosses your mind less, but to score your first goal, I think, especially at home, is with the first team, is just a massive kind of thing for me, and a really proud moment for me and my family who are watching today. So
You've had consistent game time in this competition, Aaron. Have you found as each game has come, you felt increasingly comfortable at this level?
Yeah, I think with anyone, when you play more games more consistently, you kind of gain that match sharpness. So I think even though they've been a few months apart, or maybe a month apart, a couple of weeks apart, I think playing on a kind of regular basis has helped me develop a little bit more. And I think, every time that I step on the pitch, whether it's here or whether it's away in this competition, I think I've kind of grown in confidence, which is the main thing personally. I think I've stepped on the pitch and thought, I belong here more and more every time, whereas maybe that wasn't the case last year. I think this competition's brilliant for to develop players like me. Crewe are quite a lot of young players as well. People like Josh, who needs a couple of games, and players who have been injured recently. I think it's a great competition for that, and I think I've gained confidence as the rounds have gone on.
And when Phil's spoken to us before on Matchday Live about you, Aaron, he's talked about the fact that the club are quite keen to get you out on loan in the January transfer window, but it's about finding the right club for you. In your mind, what would be the ideal kind of move for you, do you think?
I think anywhere that gets me regular game time, as I said, kind of playing regularly helps gain that match sharpness, gains that kind of match sharpness, and I think anywhere where I can get that, and then obviously the highest level possible is perfect. I've been training with Warrington Town at the start of the year, so maybe there might be a good place, but I think we'll have a look at the options and then decide when January comes.
Wayne was talking to us pre-match, Aaron, about when he stepped up at Wrexham from playing youth team football to playing full first team men's football, about learning the game and really understanding about physical strength and what it takes to compete. What have you kind of learned at playing in these matches about that aspect, rather than perhaps the technical side that maybe you'd worked on through your youth development, of what it takes to transition to first team football?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think playing in these games you get real exposure to men's football, and I think you get pushed around like a bit more than you would in like youth team games, in reserve team games. So I think it's really important to play in these competitive men's football matches when I go out on loan, for example, so I can get that exposure to being more physical, like seeing the game out, maybe not trying every single brilliant pass every single time, maybe playing kind of percentage football, as you call it. So I think that exposure to that physicality is really important. I think for young players that's arguably the most important thing for the development. I think in training you get loads of technical stuff. The physicality is not always as strong as it is in a game. So I think when you play in those match scenarios, that like kind of die for the 3 points attitude and putting your body on the line and getting that physical contact is really kind of how young players like myself can develop.
And finally, Aaron, you've had your family here watching tonight. What will the celebrations look like on that first goal?
Not much really. I don't think I'm kind of just get back to training on Thursday. I like to feel like I'm quite a humble kind of person. I mean, my mum will be over the moon, my girlfriend will be over the moon, my sister will be over the moon, but I think it's just kind of back down to business. We've kind of got a busy Christmas period. I think I've got a reserve team game next week, so kind of recovery for that, and you never know, hopefully score again, keep a clean sheet. I think that's the aim, but maybe celebrations are for 24 hours, but then back at it again for the next game.
Moral professionalism. Thank you very much, Aaron. Well, fantastic for joining us tonight, and congrats on the goal and the win.
No, thanks for having me. Thank you.
Aaron James, Wrexham centre-back, goal scorer tonight with his first goal for the club. The difference between these two sides. Mia, it's easy, isn't it, perhaps for onlookers to look at Wrexham and think, well, with the financial backing they've got now and their ability to attract big name players, that there might be limited opportunities for homegrown talent to come into the side. But what we've seen with Aaron and obviously with Max Crewe is that there are still opportunities at the club for players who come through the system, and Aaron absolutely demonstrating tonight he belongs very much at this club and has got a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, I think there's definitely still opportunities. I don't think it's easy, and that's why you've got to give credit to the likes of Aaron and Max who have found that, have found that opportunity through hard work and just being, naturally good footballers. And I think we touched on it in comms that maybe the success of Max Crewe has maybe taken a bit away from Aaron James over the last few months and last year or so, maybe, when he's come in and put in really good performances, and maybe if Max wasn't in the position he's in, maybe he would have got a few more opportunities in that first team in the league possibly. But again tonight, I thought obviously the goal is what everyone will talk about, but from a defensive point of view, I thought he was solid as well, and being able to move over to right back in the last few minutes, and especially when Crewe are going for that goal in the last sort of dying embers of the game, I think that's full credit to him. And as he talks about, he's a great professional too, going to have that celebration with his family, and brilliant to hear that he's already focused on the next match.
He spoke like a seasoned pro.
I thought the same.
I thought he was fabulous.
I completely agree.
For such a young lad.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably as difficult as it ever will be for a youngster to break into the team here at Wrexham. It was much easier in my day because of the size of the squad and possibly the quality of the player as well. Max probably timed it to perfection. Just broke into the team.
Yeah.
When we were going places, starting to go. So yeah, I do feel for the likes of Aaron now, who are trying to make a career in the game. Nothing pleases me more than seeing youngsters coming into the team. It's nice to see the 300,000, 400,000, £500,000 signings come into the club and doing well, and we need that as well. But for one who came through the system and made a career here, having done it that way, I love to see it. And I'm hoping to see a lot more of him, as I do of other players, because the talent is certainly there. They just need the opportunities. Yes, they're getting it in these games. It's not enough. They need to be playing on a regular basis, and he touched on that, going in the way to the right club and playing week in, week out. And he'll only be a better player for it. But and when he does get opportunities to come into the team, he performs, and he's certainly done that this season.
And of course, Harry Ashfield we've also seen in this competition. He was out training tonight with Matty James, George Evans. Good to see him around again pre-match. So there are other players who've had opportunities, who've come through the youth system in Harry's case, who are in and around this squad, and hopefully we'll see more of later in the season. Yeah, that's what we all hope. I think we all have a soft touch for the youngsters, and you want them to go on and do well and have a career in the game. And the ones who are here are doing really well. The ability they have, but it's going to be tough because of the players ahead of them. Senior pros, established pros, top players, and that's what they have to look up to. But on the other hand, it can work in your favour. You're training with quality every day. These top players are bringing the best out of the youngsters, and it'd be a dream as a 19, 20-year-old now to be training alongside James McLean. Players of that calibre, Stephen Fletcher, players we've known to have played at the top level for a number of years, so all credit to them. Amir, of course, turning attentions now to Saturday. Cambridge United, the next opponents here. They've struggled this season so far for quite a bit of it under Gary Monk, of course, former Swansea manager, but they did have a very good win against Shrewsbury in their previous game. So on paper, another winnable tie on Saturday, but I'm sure with that win behind them, Cambridge are going to come here and make life difficult.
Yeah, of course they will. I think, with a team similar to Burton in the fact, like you touch on, that have not had the easiest start to the season, and probably one of those, like a lot of people in the stadium maybe will already be saying that's 3 points in the bag, when you absolutely can't do that in this league, sadly. But no, at home again, coming off nights like these, they only help in terms of it going back into that change room now. Another win, another clean sheet, and I just think, at the moment that defence will be so confident in itself that it's just not going to let anything past it. So yeah, I think Cambridge are going to have to come up with something special, and it'll be interesting to see. I think it'll probably maybe be another 9 or 10 changes. Maybe Dobson will get back in. I'm not sure. Maybe Cannon. But yeah, I think wholesale changes again from tonight, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we shape up. And but yeah, I'm sure it'll be another fantastic display here at the Stoke Kairas.
Yeah, if you've won 4 league matches in a row, Wayne, with a settled side, it's going to be pretty difficult for anyone to force their way in, you'd think, unless there was perhaps an injury tweak.
Yes, you'd probably pick. I think we'd all probably agree on possibly 9 or 10 players for Saturday. The 1 or 2 maybe. Has 1 or 2 given themselves a chance? We'll wait and see. But Phil has made changes before when the team's won. That's happened early on in the season. When you expect him to go with the same team, he hasn't. He'll pick a team that's capable of winning. And I think what Mia touched on there, it would take a special performance for a team to come away with a win here this season, I think. That's how good we are here. It'll be a full house again, 13,000. Place will be rocking.
Yep.
And it'll be a shock. Should we not go? I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I always think games are hard from the kick-off. They become easy as the day goes on, if you can get 2 or 3 goals up. But it would be a shock if we didn't walk away here on Saturday evening with another 3 points. So I'm really looking forward to being back here, and let's hope that the good run continues. Well, excellent run in all honesty.
Well, thank you very much, Wayne, for joining us tonight on Matchday Live, for stepping in for Andy Morrell. We'll see you on Saturday, back into your usual capacity, but it'd be good to see you back here.
Chris, thank you. Enjoyed.
Thank you. And thank you very much, as ever, Mia, for your company. We'll see you on Saturday for the Cambridge game. Well, Crewe as a town is famous for its links with the railway industry, the team, of course, being nicknamed the Railwaymen. And they arrived here tonight at the Stoke Kairas to try and put a red signal in front of the Wrexham Express. But in the end, there was no opportunity for Lee Bell's side to derail Phil Parkinson's team as they continue on their journey, which perhaps might end up at a destination in North London in mid-April. We shall see. Thank you for your company on Matchday Live tonight. Diolch am wylio, and we will see you on Saturday. From all of us at the Stoke Kairas, good night.
Not that.